today, so I will nominate Don Busenbark to be appointed as the mayor pro tem for this meeting.
I'll second
We have a second. All in favor?
it. Aye.
Aye. So moved.
I'll move down the middle just so it's easier to see everybody. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order, recognizing that we have a full council except for the mayor. We'll go ahead and we've asked Councilwoman Audrey Goodrich to give the opening prayer, and then we've asked Lieutenant Tucker to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful unto thee for the blessings we receive from thee each day. We're grateful, Father, for the country in which we live and the freedoms that we enjoy. We're grateful for the community in which we live in and the good people that we are surrounded with. We ask thee to be with us and bless us this night, that we will make decisions that are beneficial to those members of our community. We ask for that guidance in the things that we do and discuss this night, and this we do in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, we appreciate it. We have the minutes from the previous meetings. They're going to get a chance to look at those and for any corrections or discussion on those. Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Councilman Baird moved to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion is approved, unanimous.
So those will be for two different meetings.
Yeah, for both meetings. Do we need to?
As long as you put in the motion that it's for both meetings.
Yeah, for both meetings. Sorry, I should have made sure to stipulate that. Thank you. We now have a public comment period. It looks like there's a few people here. If you would like to comment, we do have a 3-minute limit per speaker. If you'd like to come up, comment, we'd actually come up to the podium, state your name, and then we'll give you 3 minutes.
Okay, give me a warning when I come up
Okay.
here. That's like, my name is Jerry Stringham. Wanted to come to the council. I have some concerns. For the last 2 years, my neighborhood has been a nightmare. My neighbor calls the cops on me and my neighborhood, on everybody in my neighborhood, at least 5-6 times a day. I'm on a first name basis now with every law enforcement officer in this town, which is great. I love them. They're great. They do a great job. But in the 14 years that I've lived in this neighborhood, before 2 years ago, they never came to my neighborhood. Now they're there every day. My grandkids don't like to be outside. They can't be outside. They get the cops called on them. My dog can't be outside because the cops call on them. I used to have 2 therapy horses in my backyard for my granddaughter who's autistic. They're gone. My animal rights mean nothing to the city. My rights have meant nothing to the city. How much money are you guys spending in your budgets now, Central Dispatch? How much did your budget go up? I was the assistant fire chief for a very long time. I know how much we have to pay for each call. I called Bernal PD. Chief Watkins was in Bernal PD when this process started over there. I talked to Wakana Davis, Central Dispatch. In 1 year in Bernal, Utah, this particular individual, Jenny Thompson, called law enforcement 1,500 times. 1,500. I guarantee you she's called that many here. I've talked extensively with Chief Watkins. She had 2 disorderly conduct charges on her, which makes it a misdemeanor. Your city attorney refuses to do anything. He got the charges dropped, dismissed, $50 fine, slap on the wrist. She came home and went on a rampage because she was right and was vindicated. I've sued her. Judge Kiera just wouldn't entertain it. Didn't even get to finish my case and I got excused from the court. I mean, it's cost me thousands. Now I'm leaving. We've already had another neighbor leave. I've talked to my other neighbors. They're here tonight with you. They're ready to leave because nothing gets done. Why is our city attorney, we pay him to do a job, he refuses to do it. That's on you guys. We elected you. We need you to make sure you're representing all of the people. Mr. Roosevelt, you've been to the neighborhood more times than I can count. When have you ever stopped and talked to one of us?
Haven't needed to, there's not been a problem.
Right. But you know what's going on, but you
I
not
do.
talk to any of my neighbors. You didn't stop and say, hey, Terry, what's up? Why is this happening? There's been no conversation. I'm in Chief Watkins' office at least once a month. I mean, we've become very good friends. And I'm actually grateful for that friendship, that I think he's doing a fantastic job. But I'm probably took over my time.
No, you're
I
fine.
appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
I have some of my other neighbors that are here. There were supposed to be more of my neighbors that were here because this is a great neighborhood. We used to barbecue together, walk parties together. I know I can leave my house and I just text Chopper real quick. Hey, I'm gonna be out of town. Keep an eye on things. You never have to worry.
Right.
You know, Rachel's at work today. Her girls are out in the swimming pool. It's summertime. It's nice outside. They're swimming and guess what? We got a visit from law enforcement because of suspicious screaming. That cost you $3.95 for that call.
Mhm.
You know, when I was the assistant chief, a company came through, Ryan will remember this, and sold cheap fire alarms to everybody in town. And for about a 3-month period there, we were up at 3 o'clock in the morning, running to cheap fire alarms going off, but we have to respond. Finally, I sat down with the chief and I said, okay, we go to this house anymore, we are going to build them. And Lee said, let's get it done. So the next call, we come back, we're billing you. It's gonna cost you about $1,500 because we just rolled the whole cavalry down here. And guess what? They called the alarm companies. The cheap alarm systems got fixed or removed, and we didn't have to go back on them anymore. Chief, how many citations have you wrote to anybody in my neighborhood? I'll answer for you, 0. There's never been a violation that you found.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and bringing that up. We are aware of that, and I actually have been working with law enforcement as well on it, but I apologize for not coming to visit you guys.
Yeah, it would have been,
I mean, I was aware, and most of the time I was talking to Jenny and telling her, I'm not seeing what you're seeing, so I don't know what you're talking about, so I was supporting you guys that way, so I
Okay.
apologize that I didn't talk to
no,
you.
that's fair, that's fair. That helps, thank you.
So my name is Rachel Gibbons. I am Terry's neighbor. I have an issue with Jenny Thompson. My biggest issue is she's accosting children. Yesterday morning, right next to Jason's schools, my daughter's one of her best friends moved in just last week. Yesterday morning, before they went off to dance, they met in the road, excited for dance, excited in the summer, excited that we have a new best friend in the neighborhood. Jenny proceeded to tell them they need to be on medication because they're problem children and they're outside causing problems. They were in my yard. She constantly records my child outside in the yard when she's in the pool, when she's walking up and down the street, constantly recording them. Now, I tried a civil stalking injunction because according to Utah state law, the stalking is acts in which the actor follows, monitors, observes, photographs, surveils, threatens, or communicates to or about an individual, or interferes with an individual's property. It directly, indirectly, or through a third party, and by any action, method, or device. She's doing that. Admittedly, she's recording us. She has a security camera on the corner of her property on the edge of a shed. There's not an entrance to the shed on that side. There's not an entrance to her yard on that side. That security camera points directly into my yard. I don't think that's right. Technically not illegal, but it's wrong. I
And
don't
she
think
takes it down
anybody
at
up
night.
here. What was that?
And she takes it down at night.
And there's one pointing directly into Terry's yard as well. Anybody up here wouldn't appreciate that. You wouldn't appreciate that. If your kid was outside playing in a pool in their swimming suit and there's someone constantly recording them on a cell phone, would you appreciate that? No. Like I said, tried civil stalking injunction, Kara threw it out. Didn't even let us finish our case, said that she's calling the cops for legal reasons. Cars parked backwards on the road. Fine, technically illegal. You've been on my street. not an issue,
No.
no.
I've never seen any issues every time I've been up there a dozen times. Never
Guess what
been
I seen on my lunch break today?
an issue.
Guess what I seen on my lunch break today? Jenny parked backwards. But yeah, she'll call the cops on us.
I've got her on the ring cam.
And we're fed up. People are moving. People are sick of it. And my biggest thing, like I said, is she accosts children. I watched Terry's grandchild actually, wreck on a bike. Rolled out of the curb onto the grass, outside her fence, on the grass. She came out screaming at the child to get off her property. And then threw up the loser sign at him, yelled at him again, and walked away.
And then call.
There's a problem there.
Yeah. Well,
We
thank
need
you.
something done.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else who would like to approach the council during public comment? Mr. Scholes?
Don, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'll figure this out. When Rachel got a hold of me tonight, it's a big topic, and for 25 months, I've lived up there for 8 years now, moved back into the city, and for 25 months, I'd say, well, to be honest with you, for about 20 months now, I feel like I'm a prisoner in my yard, my home. When we first moved up there, like Terry said, we had block parties, the neighbors would meet out in the street and BS about the garden and the kids' baseball games. Everybody hung out, the kids rode their bikes down the streets. Nobody had a problem.
Yeah.
I nicknamed it the $1 Million Street, greatest neighborhood in town. Like you said, you never have to go there.
No.
The cops have been to our home half a dozen times. They've been great. I've offered them dinner anytime they're up there. I feel bad that they have to come. But seriously, my grandkids come and I only get to see them for about 8 weeks out of the year. They love to come to my house and I have bikes for them there. For the last 2 years, they can't ride bikes in my house. Jimmy's called the cops on them because they rode with Rachel's kids, Terry's grandkids, the Cox's kids and that. Last year, the cops were called because the kids were out riding their bikes in the street. I don't know if the city of Roosevelt has an ordinance with riding bicycles on streets. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's an ordinance. But when it was about a month ago, I'd say 3 weeks ago, they were out riding bikes. I asked my son, I said, hey, where's the boys at? Oh, they grabbed their bikes and out riding the street. I ran out the front door, grabbed them, and they were upset at me and said, you can't ride at Grandpa's house. They're like, why? And I says, because that lady's already called the cops. Sure enough, one of his officers drove by, but we weren't on the street at the time. I think I don't know how the city can help this situation, but I hope they can find a way to help us because they got better things to do than sit at our place. But
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you coming. All right, anyone else here for public comment period? Mr. Labrum.
Yes, Val Labrum. You know, I didn't come here to say anything to start with. But what I've listened to and what I've heard, and what I understand that the police department is aware and it is a problem. The city does have a public nuisance ordinance. And you can have citations for being a public nuisance. I think she should have had a lot of citations for being a public nuisance. Now, the police department, if they get a call, they gotta go. You cannot get a call and say, oh, you've done this 1,000 times, you're hollering wolf. They've gotta go. And that not only is a public nuisance, but it's an expense. And if this has been going on that long, who has dropped the ball? Was it the police department? Was it city council? Was it the city attorney? But that public nuisance, if nothing more than that, which probably is more than that, should be enforced.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, any others for public comment? Okay. Thank you.
I'm Sarah Labrum. I do not live in the neighborhood, but my in-laws family does. And there has been numerous times that I have been at their house, in their yard, This 4th of July, for example, lighting fireworks, small fireworks. And my nephews had little sparklers. She called the cops. Because the children were lighting off fireworks and were unsupervised, which is not true, and I have photos to back that up. Can we live? I don't understand why us lighting fireworks on the 4th of July is reason to call the police. She said that the kids were too close to the fireworks. They were in the yard. The fireworks were in the street. I saw her the whole night looking out her windows or walking around the yard, staring at us. And then calling the police on the 4th of July? This is ridiculous. Please don't just sweep this under the rug again, like everything else. This is ridiculous. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, appreciate your time.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. I'm not here to talk about that situation. Hope they get it resolved.
Love you too.
So my name's Brady Coleman, and I'm a band called Glen Barber Revival. We got to play the 4th of July this year up at Constitution.
Oh,
I
great.
just wanted to come in here and thank you all for the opportunity to let us play. We had an awesome show. Vanessa's people were great. Fire department was awesome. Got the fireworks lit off right on time and stuff. So I just appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully we can maybe get something going for next year and ran into some issues with some weather and some technical difficulties, but we learned a lot and we had a blast performing. We got Russ Grant here's one of the local guys too. Most of the other bands out of Salt Lake. So just want to thank you. And then if you guys, we have some videos up. I don't know if you guys, I brought some of these for you guys, but
Okay.
if you go on that QR code, you can look on our YouTube or our Facebook page and we've just got some cool videos put together of the performance and
They sounded great.
fun to have stuff like that going on. And,
Yeah, thank you.
feels like
That's great, Russ involved.
And you guys sounded great.
What do you guys think? Yeah.
And you guys sounded great. It was a great show.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks, Vanessa's been awesome to work with. She works really hard. And
Yes, she does.
Job, so,
Yeah.
yeah, just want to thank you all and thank her. And that's it. That's all I got. Thanks.
No problem, thank you, and we thank you for performing, so. All right, any others? Awesome, thank you for your time and for your comments, and we'll definitely be putting more effort in some things I guess we haven't been doing, it sounds like. I don't have council appointments or committee appointments I'm aware of. No public hearing. We'll start with a 9A UBIC donation request. Ryan, you want to take that one? Thank you, guys.
Nobody wants to stay unless there's a problem.
I know, we're used to that. Okay, Ryan, you got the floor.
This is positive news. UBIC, so Chad will sends a letter requesting a donation for UBIC from the city every year. We do have this already in the budget, and we do it every year, and it's $7,500. That's what we're requesting this.
And we're just, need to approve it.
Yep, simple as that, so.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we release funds for UBIC.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman White. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilwoman Goodrich. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. Thank you. The next one, we have Dean Johnson, proposed early retirement. Brock Arnold talked to me already. He wasn't planning to come. I'll entertain a motion since we've already discussed this.
I'll move we approve. we've already discussed.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Allen to approve the proposed early retirement we discussed last meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman White. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. It's been approved. UB Tech contract discussion, Lieutenant Tucker, or Chief, whichever.
The UBIC contract, this is the do with our SRO over there. We, in the past, have had a yearly contract with them. We went back and had a discussion with the president. This last one has expired. Technically, they've expired and either group hasn't done anything according to grant. It continues on to the next year as is. But this last one has expired. So we, Lieutenant Tucker and I went over and had a conversation. And when I first got here, quite frankly, our service wasn't the best for them. And I committed on getting better service. And there was some talk of possible upping the cost and so forth. So I started bringing that up and was told that nothing was going to change. We then came back and we're going to have a conversation with Mr. Bacon. We received an addendum from UB Tech. The addendum that you have right there has several things in it. First one is there's a mutual termination clause that's added into that. This is for 3 years. Before we were doing 1 year at a time. It's for the set amount that we've had for years before. And I had been told we like putting a 3% escalation clause on our contracts lately, and that isn't on here. I have some recommendations. Mr. Bate and I have had conversations, and Lieutenant Tucker and I give the city council on this addendum, if you would like to have. Or my input. Okay. I think the mutual consent agreement is non-functional. I mean, one wants out and the other one can't, and it stays the same, at least for the 3 years. It's been $90,000 for how long now?
Since 2019.
Since 2019. And again, the 3% escalation clause. So I recommend that we do one of two things. If the city council wants to entertain sending this back to UB Tech, I suggest that the mutual termination clause be strict from it. The 3 years I have a problem with, 90,000, that's up to you guys, but I think there should be a 3,000 escalation clause.
3%.
Or 3%, yeah. To be honest with you, I think that should start this first year. So it'll be 3% on top of 90 is what we'd like to see or so. The other option would be given 90 days and we'll just pull out of service from there, because he told me that he can get cheaper from the sheriff's office, but I don't know. So now it's in your capable hands.
So I talked with Chief this morning at the sergeant's meeting, and I agree the mutual agreement doesn't really work, because if we say we don't want to do it and they say, well, we still want you to do it, we would have to do it. It doesn't allow us to get out if there's an issue, and I think that's a problem personally. I do think that there's some cost. I'm not opposed to this year being 90 and the next year adding the 3% possibly. My recommendation, just talking to Chief, would be first to, I'd like to keep the relations with UB Tech if possible, and go back and say we don't like the mutual agreement, and we'd like the 3%. We're willing to start that, either this year or next year. I don't really care. And then if they say no, then we could then go back and do the 90-day and say, well, then we'll plan to terminate and move on. That's my recommendation. The chief could take the officer from UB Tech and we have an opening for an officer, they can move him in, right? Or,
Well, we have an opening. We're subsidizing, and I'm probably gonna say you're inaccurate, maybe an idea, I believe about 50,000.
probably about 50, I would guess, with benefits.
And that's not including the vehicle and stuff. So, we have this new position you guys so graciously gave me. I'm hiring for it, arranging for it. If we were to pull out UB Tech, I could find 90,000, keep that, and then I would have, essentially 3/4 of an officer back. So the two I actually asked for is harsh enough, whatever, I get 1 3/4, and that'd be appreciated. We put both of those people out on patrol, and that would make a big difference.
Okay, well, again, it is under action item, it is a discussion. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts either way.
Both of those changes came from UB Tech,
All of them.
all of them.
Yeah, this whole, this addendum right here, the mutual termination, the 3 years, again, I have a problem if, for the 3 year versus the 1 year has been before.
It
And,
has the increase in it.
but it doesn't have an escalation clause.
Yeah, it's just a flat 90,000 for 3 years, but then,
With a mutual consent for both, which is troubling. Okay.
I think we have to just consider when, especially we're not the only entity that can provide this service. And so we'll be in this situation whenever we have contracts with the schools or UB Tech or the hospital. They'll want to shop around, and if they can find something that works better for them, they'll be anxious to do that or renegotiate our contract. And I think we have to just mutually agree, if they can find it better, that's fine. We don't need to have our feelings hurt. Hopefully they don't have their feelings hurt, but we don't also want to get into a contract we're subsidizing a whole bunch just so we can keep that account, unless there's a reason to do so. It'd be different if we were the only game in town and they thought we were gouging them or something, then that's different. But I don't want anybody involved to feel bad if it doesn't work out or we go a different way or they go a different way. So I think we just need to make sure that we need to specify what works for us, and if that doesn't work for them and they have another option, that's perfectly okay.
So basically canceling this contract, if it came to that, if we countered and they didn't like that and we decided to do the 90-day clause, so that money, that 90,000 would come out of your budget, and you were saying you'd make some adjustments and take care of things?
I would find that 90,000 I would come short and keep the officer, yes. I think that's a great deal for another patrol.
Okay,
We need to.
all right. Yeah, I think I'm okay personally with doing a counter addendum or whatever, just to try to get those terms in there. I think if that's what makes sense to your department. And is there any downside for the city if we lose this contract?
I think the only thing, if you guys decide to kick this back with changes or so, you probably should agree on a time frame, either hear back from them or not, because I still have to do that 90-day, or at the time of. So in other words, if we decide this and it drags on for 2 months, and then we do a 90-day cancellation on it, I'm that much further out, and so a reasonable time to give them.
Okay.
Do you think before our next council meeting, which would be August 5th?
That would be reasonable.
I think that's plenty of time for them to make a decision.
Maybe even the end of the month, which would be July 31st, which is the Thursday before that.
Okay. Grant is out. How long is he out? Is he another week or is he?
He'll be back Thursday.
Okay, Thursday. So
He'll be coming off the mountain Thursday, so.
he won't be back. So the following Tuesday, probably, I would assume. So, between Ryan and I, if you spell out what you want different counter on this addendum here, to back, and we can see if we can get it in writing to the president and see if we can get a response, if that so wish.
So thoughts on that?
Well, that sounds good to me.
Should we go with the chief's recommendation of taking out the mutual consent and adding the 3%?
And then, never mind.
I think those are the only major two, right, chief?
Yeah, and the 3 years is fine with me. The other question would be, you guys want to keep it at the 90, or do you want to bring it up to the 90 plus the 3%? Because we've been at 90 since ever or whatever, that'd be the only question,
Do
yeah.
you think it'd be a deal breaker for them if we wanted it to start at the beginning of 2025? Because if it is, then I think we ought to do the other. Just because, I don't know, just my thought.
I think we do what we need to do and make our offer, and then whatever it is, I don't care. I mean, we're subsidizing either way. We're just gonna, if we say add the 3% now, we're subsidizing a little less now. If we start with the 90 in good faith and say going forward for the next 3 years, it'll be the 3%, that's fine too. I don't have an opinion. I would rather first approach them as, here's our counter offer. If they approve it, great. If they say no, then I would say then we go to plan B, which is then we will give them the 90 days, and that would be my thought.
Okay, so this contract is expiring, and so this is.
It's already expired.
It's expired, okay.
We're
We're
just-
still
because we
providing the
haven't-
services. When did it expire? Because
Last year.
okay, I think we ought to, since it's at an at a new renewal cycle, and we've been providing those services, I mean, I don't know. My thought is the fair thing to do would be starting today, 3%, but just,
Just where it's been at that price for 6 years, I almost say let's start at 95 and do the 3% from there even.
okay, yeah. I mean, I just want to be fair and not, get into an argument with them about something,
I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you. He's pretty adamant he's going to stay like this. But
Yeah.
do
Well,
you- I'm sorry.
I'm okay with what she's saying.
Start at 95 and then put 3% for the next.
So if the contract expired though, do we need to continue to do a
So
90-day period?
I asked Grant that. Grant said yes, because, and I know the ins and outs, but I did check with Grant specifically. Even though it expired and we didn't have a contract last year, the one before that, because we fulfilled it, there was an obligation, so we probably have to get that thing. He did say that we're still obligated, which doesn't quite make sense to me, but that's why I only have a master's degree in criminal justice.
Right.
Not a lawyer.
No, the lawyer is-
And if we did cancel the contract though, I mean, it puts us, according to him, it may open up maybe a liability or something, but I mean, we can still make that decision to just end services, I think.
We could give them the 90 days. They can come back and say, well, don't worry about the 90 days, and then we'll be fine. Or we go through the 90 days in my head, I'm calculating it over my head with that, whatever.
Roughly
Yeah,
October.
October, math was, yeah, should ask.
And they are paying us right now for what
We
we've done this
have-
year.
We did give one for last year, yes. On the 99%.
And it's an annual payment. It's once a year they make that
Yeah,
payment.
they would just pay a reduced amount because they'd only get the service. Unless they, like you said, unless we gave them the 90-day notice and then they said, oh, we're good, you can go ahead and drop it now, then we wouldn't have that. But yeah, if we provide the service, we could bill them a percentage of whatever service we provide.
Prorated.
Prorated, yeah.
Okay.
So want to make a motion on this then?
Audrey?
I don't know exactly what motion to make, but
Well, I think the motion would be that you, if I understand right, is you would say we would offer a different term, or we give them a different.
Counter, maybe.
A counter.
Yeah, a counter offer of whatever amount, 3% per year, 3 years, and we get rid of the mutual consent. And we'd like a response by August 5th. And if they choose, they have a choice to accept, or if they choose not to accept, then we would consider that the 90-day.
Yeah.
That would, at that point, if they refuse or choose not to accept the offer, then we would say, then we're going to offer the 90-day closure of the contract. That's not what I mean. Termination. Thank you.
That was a termination.
Yeah.
So I think if council, if I understand correctly, we're all in agreement to, or you're all, me too, I guess, to get the mutual consent out there. To add a 3%. I think the question here is exactly what the money up front we asked.
So if you did a 3% on the 90, would that be 92.7?
Yes.
So he was quick on that.
To me, it really does make sense to increase the base amount, just starting, because if it's been in, I'm just thinking more about this, but, this has been the agreement since 2019. They've paid $90,000 since 2019. Expenses for us have gone up by how much? Because we really ought to renew it at what we're currently,
Right.
what the difference is between what we're paying now for their officer versus what we paid back then. And then if we should also do a 3% clause. So that initial amount, to me, it ought to be equivalent to what money was worth in 2019 and what we're doing for them. So I'm okay raising as much as we need to on that amount. I feel like that's the right thing to do, and I don't feel like there's really a good counter argument against that.
I agree.
So whatever that amount is, I don't know.
He's thinking it hard. You tell me what you want in it, and I'll see if we can get it back to him.
And I don't think we need to do the 3% at the beginning of the year if we increase that other amount by whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, roughly, just looking at an average increase, you'd be looking probably about 18,000 from the 90. You'd be looking at 3%. Just give or take a 3% per year. We got some inflation years worse, obviously, but if you go to 3%, you're roughly looking at about 108,000. I'm just doing a rough ballpark, but I'm not opposed to doing whatever you guys want, 95, 100. This is something different, but I do agree we do probably need to raise that, and I do like the 3%. Where we start, I'm not as concerned about either.
What, Chief? Another concern, I guess, for the police is if they go with a different security firm, does Roosevelt still have to respond if something happens there?
Over the UB Tech, no.
So we wouldn't have any reason to still go over.
No, less life, safety.
Right,
Of course,
right.
we respond over their active shooter or anything that life threatening, so forth. And
Yeah.
I think the whole new building over there is actually doing that.
Solid County, I'm not sure if in years past, we used to have, because it was juveniles, we used to make it so that those juveniles, if something happened over there, it came over to Roosevelt. And I'm not sure what that agreement is, but that whole school is in Uinta County. The Uinta County Sheriff is the one doing it, it would be their So I don't know if they would redo some of the juvenile stuff if they had to, but if it was an adult stuff,
And I think that juvenile thing is more for convenience because we've done it before in the past. And that would be a court issue anyway. But as far as Councilman Barron, I'll answer your question about, as far as public safety and vice versa, we're all certified in the state of Utah. I can enforce speeding laws in Logan. Why would I do that? I don't know. But my point is that I have that authority throughout. And so our guys would only go over there if needed for backup to whoever was over there, and vice versa too. And I know Sheriff Lakeman very well as well. And it'd be a great working relationship, if that's who he finds or so, if that's what it comes to.
Well, I think we should raise the amount as, in addition to mutual. Okay, I'll make a motion and we'll see where it goes. But mutual termination struck from the agreement, a 3% escalation starting next January, and this year starting at.
I'm sorry, would that, so.
I just did the 3% when after the year's up, the next year.
After the year's up, yeah,
Yeah.
not necessarily January,
Okay.
but after the year's up. And then increase the base amount for the contract to whatever the current value of the services we're offering are, as, you know, in comparison to what they were when we initially set up the contract at 90,000.
So roughly, if you're, again, going back to my number, it'd be about 108,000.
Yeah, we could do that, 108,000.
And if they choose not to do it, then
We give them till the next, well, we should probably be a little bit more loose on letting them make a decision on this because it's a bigger change, potentially. Maybe the second meeting, would ever be okay. The second meeting.
Does that work for you, Chief?
Yes.
Second meeting?
Yeah,
Next month.
So August 19th, roughly? And if by that point they choose not to accept, then can we give them the 90-day?
Yeah, if they make a counter offer, we possibly entertain that, yeah. But yeah, otherwise we'd do a 90-day.
I'm gonna go fast. It'd be great if the city council is on the 19th, is it? If the date was a week before that, so that if they do, nice have it.
Okay,
Good idea.
I'll revise that motion.
Good, agreed.
So the
Okay.
12th.
So if I got the motion, Councilman Baird moved that we strike from their addendum the mutual consent agreement that starting next year, we would do the 3% increase, and that starting this year, we would raise the amount to 108,000. And that if they choose not to accept the agreement and make a counteroffer, they need to have their counteroffer to us by August 12th. Thank you. And if they refuse the offer and don't want to negotiate with us, then we would entertain at that point of offering them the 90-day termination. Is that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Councilman Roosevelt. I was looking at Bird there for a second.
I know. It's all good.
Did you say 3%, did you?
Yes,
Did I miss
and
that?
that was all part of that motion.
Great, thank you.
Okay, did you get all that, Sierra? I tried to make sure and clarify everything. I think I got it all, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilwoman Goodrich, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna skip 9D. We do need to go into closed session to discuss property, et cetera, but 9E, gun range parking lot approval. This is Ryan again.
Yes, I'm just requesting, to get ready for our shooting range soft opening on the 24th of July. We are constructing the parking lot. And for the materials for that parking lot, the quote that we have in is at $9,100. That's for road base, rock, and water, and then hauling it and getting it there.
Okay.
Is that sufficient for if we did asphalt later? Would it be a good base for that? Just curious if that.
It would be a good start, yes. Yeah, we're getting out all the soft stuff and hauling it hard. It's pretty decent. We talked about it this morning. This is on the agenda like this, but really I kind of need, I don't know how to work this. Maybe I need your help. But we could use a few more dollars for the grand opening, for the soft opening itself. I know it seems like a small amount, but probably an extra $3,000 for everything that we're doing for that event. I don't know if we can roll that into the same motion. Am I allowed to do that?
It's not on here technically, because you just have specifically parking lot, but I think, doesn't Josh have budget like he could use initially and then maybe get reimbursed
Yeah.
after?
Yeah.
That might be easier than trying, because again, your action item is specific gun range parking lot approval, and I don't know that
Okay.
fits. I Grant's not here, but I would say.
Well, we were both going back and forth, and he does have a budget that he can fill out of, and we could probably.
Reimburse from the gun range budget, and if you needed to, I think you just bring that to council and say we spent X on that.
I know that's not a preferred method from the mayor
No.
to spend money and then come ask for it after it's spent, but
Yeah, I agree.
but is there other money that could cover that potentially if we don't approve it?
Isn't it, yeah,
Yeah, it needs to be more than what.
5,000 or 10?
Josh has got approval up to 10 grand.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Um,
yeah, I'm not saying that
I'm,
what I'm suggesting is like, yeah, he could spend within his limits, but if there's, if they're planning to go over budget with this extra spending, I know that's not necessarily favorable, but if we're trying to keep within a budget and we allow for a little spending with the intention of being able to make it through the year, making adjustments, I don't know.
Right. What's making it confusing too with this project is we've approved overall the 500,000 for the gun range, but it has not been detailed out in what it's being spent on.
So both of those amounts are be coming out of that same budget,
Correct.
just haven't approved what exactly.
Right. Yeah, the budget's there for it, it's just a matter of, if, it's just, I'm a little concerned because it's not specifically for the,
And that's why I asked. I did not
Yeah,
want to
and I
do it
don't-
without bringing it up.
right, and if Grant were here, I could ask him to help us. It might be okay, but I would feel better if we just approved the parking and knowing that Josh can approve it. We do have council funds that we can
Yeah.
approve as well, but again, being that it's not an action item, I don't know that we dare.
I don't think we can,
They can
well,
just spend
I mean, can we not, we can't make a motion at all, even like a consensual, just like agreement that we'll make a motion later.
We can, as a discussion, say that we will approve it for later, but we
Just can't make a motion on
we
it.
can't approve it now is the point, so. I would entertain a motion on the parking lot.
I'll move we approve the.
Okay, we got a motion by Councilman Allen. For a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Baird, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. As for the soft opening money, is a council agreement that we're in agreement to go ahead and do what you need to, and then you just may have to adjust the budget next time. It's not preferred, but at least you'll have a.
I think we all agree,
It's just been difficult doing this project because you can't get anything done unless you spend something, right?
Right.
So it's kind of.
It's been difficult for
a
a few
years.
years.
Grant and everything come in, so hopefully when this,
What are your plans for the soft opening?
so we've teamed up with Strata Networks, they're gonna help us, and WCF as far as the food goes. We've rented a tent and some chairs and stuff, cause we don't have anything on that, and then we're gonna have drinks out there as well, and some booths and a little bit of giveaways. Obviously there'll be speeches and ribbon cutting.
And then we should know something after July 31st probably
Yes.
on the grant. They're just waiting to collect the emails.
Yeah, that's correct.
So if you haven't had a chance to email, you might want to send an email to. Sierra sent that information out. It was Amanda,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of, when you get on there, it's confusing unless you
Right.
read it really in small writing on the bottom.
So, okay,
I'll be out of town.
I'm planning to go. But, the financials and expenditures made it through. Did everyone get a chance to look at them and sign?
I'll move we approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Allen to approve, a second by Councilwoman Goodrich, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there any city manager report tonight? Okay, no any committee reports from anyone? Okay, we do need to go in executive session to discuss property acquisition, so I do need a motion for that.
I'll motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Baird, second by Councilman Goodrich. We gotta do, aye.
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 Okay, all in favor? We'll go ahead and go into executive session here. Thank you.